What would you say to a woman who's on the fence with investing in this program and doesn't trust her decisions? She's been stuck for so long. What would you tell her?
It's the best investment in yourself you'll ever make. Literally, I could not recommend this program more. I found myself through this program.
Mic drop. Another mic drop. Oh my goodness. That is beautiful.
This way of life has really shown me how to be the truest, best version of myself. And it's absolutely amazing because it just feels like I can fly. It's just so awesome to have it.
Oh, just tears over here. Was the biggest surprise of this program for you?
How fun it because, emotional work like this, you don't think that's going to be fun. You understand that it's important, it's life changing, it's necessary, but who thinks, yeah, let's dig into my trauma? That's great. Nobody thinks that's going to be fun. I
Yeah.
mean, and it was. It really was. And a lot of that has to do not only with the way that you built the framework, but with that community that you
hmm
established
hmm
because of the connections that we have with each other and the wins and the way we celebrate each other. So
Yeah, I love that. I had somebody say to me, "Oh, I'm ready for the work. We're going to be fighting demons. We're going to be going in there, our deepest trauma." I was like, "Whoa, whoa." Nobody's fighting demons. We talk about it for 15 minutes. It's pretty wild. I'm here with Adrienne. Thank you so much for agreeing to do this testimonial. I'm super stoked. Let's talk about your progress. You've gone overall, your transformation has been profound. You started at a 13 and moved to a 50 out of 50 on the relationship fulfillment score. That is wild. And I believe you did that in like roughly 2 months. Oh man, so I'm excited to dig in. So talk to me about what was your life like before her swag, before this program?
honestly, it chaotic from an emotional perspective.
Mm,
I didn't really realize how much I didn't trust my internal compass and my decisions because I didn't really have a center and a focus and
hmm
really a framework to base decisions off of. And so I sort of went with the wind and used my
Yeah.
intuition, some experiences that I had done before, different methods. And, obviously, when you're doing well, that works well. When you're not, that doesn't work well.
hmm
So
hmm
it was challenging because it didn't really build sustainable confidence.
Yeah, yeah. And tell me a bit about you and what was going on in your life when you started.
So when I started, my wife and I decided to separate,
hmm
and I actually had some hesitation around starting the program because of that. I wasn't sure if I would be able to take on the emotional work that needed to be done with my divorce and what was required of the program, and it was honestly the best decision I've ever made for myself and probably for every relationship I have currently in my life and I know for my future relationships because it's changed so much for me. But
Oh,
previously, yeah, I was right in the middle of beginning a separation.
yeah. And so what was going on in your mind and body when you first started out?
I was extremely unsure, unsteady.
hmm
Unmoored would be a good word to describe the way that I was feeling. I was also extremely concerned about making the same mistakes,
hmm
repeating the same mistakes that I had in the past in previous
mm
relationships. Obviously, particularly romantically, because I was focused on working toward separation and then divorce. But I also was just feeling not very confident in my decision making because, I don't think anyone gets married with the idea of getting divorced. And so
Yeah.
I was questioning, okay, what did I do that led me here and
hmm
how can I improve in the future? And that's what led me to this program. So,
So it sounds like your biggest struggles were around trusting yourself.
yes.
Yeah. What would you say your other big struggles were?
I didn't have a sense of self-worth
Mm,
without other people's validation. That was huge. And that was something that I was aware of, but kind of avoiding because I had tried other therapeutic modalities like regular therapy, meditation,
Mhm.
self-help books like CBT, things like that. And none of those really fixed the problem.
Yeah.
Um, in a sustainable way. So I was unsure that it was ever going to be able to change. And I knew that I needed to be able to love myself first
Yeah.
and foremost, for just for myself. And then, of course, for any relationship that I wanted to have, regardless of
Yeah.
whether it was platonic or
Yeah.
romantic or professional.
Okay. That's super helpful. What would you say you have achieved as a result of this program?
Wow, that's a challenging question because I
It's
feel
even interesting to call it a program because we know it's a way of life. Like you've called me on this many times.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I feel like a completely different person in the best way. Except that actually, let me change that. I
Yeah.
feel like the truest version of myself, the version of myself that I always knew existed and never knew quite how to access,
Oh,
because all of the muck and all of the trauma and everything that I've gone through throughout my life that I didn't know how to work through in the way that this program helped me to do, I was carrying around, and it was covering up the real me. And so this way of life has really shown me how to be the truest, best version of myself. And it's absolutely amazing because it just feels like I can fly.
oh.
I mean, that sounds like a Hallmark card or, a terrible 90s R&B song, but it's true. I feel like the best, most energized and excited version of myself, and every day feels like an opportunity to expand and explore and really be here for what I was meant to do. So
Oh,
it's
I mean, it doesn't sound like a Hallmark card because I can feel that coming off of you, right? I feel that I can fly type of energy and embodiment, which is really amazing to see. I'd love to understand more tactically. How does this change your day to day? Like you talked about decision making, self-worth. Tell me about tactically what's different.
initially you have to build the habit of making the decisions that you love so that you can trust yourself. But eventually it becomes innate so that you're
Yeah.
not actually going through that mental checklist of,
Yeah.
was this something that I'm going to love today, like right now, and that I'm going to love tomorrow and my future self will love as well. It's also changed just my routines,
Mhm.
which has been impactful because I had routines before, but they weren't as focused and didn't
Mhm.
have the purpose behind them that these do, because I can feel the change and the difference that these routines make. So
Mhm.
it encourages you to continue the routines even when they're challenging, because
Mhm.
let's be real, life is hard, things happen, and you're like, but it doesn't feel that way with this program because you know what you're getting out of those routines. And so you're just like, yeah, let's do it. Inspired stillness. Every morning I wake up and I'm like, okay, which one do I get to choose? And that's amazing because,
Ah.
habits aren't necessarily always fun. And this is a fun habit. It's great. So
I love that. Talk to me about how your self-worth has transformed.
that's going to be hard to articulate, but I will try. I literally went from associating validation and self-worth with other people's love of me and their proximity to me, and in terms of my relationship with them, again, whether romantic or platonic, how much time they wanted to spend with me. So, if they
Mm.
decided to start blowing me off, I would always assume it was something that I was doing, felt like I was less than worthy of their time and attention. And now I realize that my worth is inherent. I am not deriving it from any external source, whether it's a person or anything else. It's literally coming directly from me. And
Mhm.
it just makes me feel rooted. Like, I just, thinking about that, I just see a picture of a tree because it's just so solid. It's unshakable. It's literally unshakable. And
Oh,
that feeling is it's indescribable because I've looked for that my entire life
Mm.
because it's the basis for everything else and how you interact with the entire world, right? Like if you don't have that sense of self and that sense of worth,
Yeah.
you can't interact with the rest of the world in the way that you're truly meant to. Like with the program, the soul vibes, you
Yeah.
can't be your soul vibes if you don't have that sense of self-worth. And so it's just so awesome to have it.
Oh, just tears over here.
Yeah, I'm about to
Oh,
cry.
oh my God. Your vibration and your soul vibes, your energy is just completely transformed and so fast. And it's just beautiful to witness. You've done a lot of self-work. You are tenacious, intelligent, resourceful. You've tried a lot of things. What was different with this?
Several things. One is the operational framework that you have created. It's digestible, it makes
Mhm.
sense, it's approachable.
Mhm.
And I think the biggest thing is that it's customizable intentionally, right? It's meant for you to do for you. And
Mhm.
you're supposed to find flow with it, right? You've designed a framework that you found useful for you, but you said, hey, now take what I've given you as the foundation and the examples and
Yeah.
apply what works for you.
Yeah.
And figuring that out and tweaking, pulling those levers is what's really fun and exciting because as you continue through your learning and you go through the modules, you get more and more out of that and you start really uncovering what works and recognizing that you're in flow instead of forcing things, which
Yeah.
I like you said, I'm a tenacious person and previously I had white knuckled through
Yeah.
things that were challenging and trying to change your sense of self-worth and your identity in terms of your relationship to yourself and the way that you interact with the world is not easy. And so there were times where I was white knuckling that, and while that might get a result, it's not sustainable and it's not enjoyable. And that's the important part, right? Like, this is not only sustainable, but you actually feel good while you're doing it. And it sort of builds on itself, right?
Uh-huh.
Each module, you feel better and better, and it just starts clicking, and you're like, oh shit, this actually really, really works. And it's so quick that you realize that it works. I mean, I've done
Yeah.
meditation, I've done singing bowl healing, I've done regular therapy, I've done CBT, I've done all kinds of self-help books, and I've incorporated techniques of those. And your framework has a lot of those concepts in it, but it puts it into, like I said, a really digestible format.
Yeah.
But you also, I mean, it has you. That's one of the key things. Like, I
Mhm.
think your support is critical because you have such an understanding. I mean, you designed this. So,
Mhm.
you're the subject matter expert here. You're the one who says, "Hey, I've been through this. Let me help you." And
Uh-huh.
I wish I had utilized that more. I could have.
Mhm.
But again, that's the white knuckle part for
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
But part of that is you, and then the community as
Mhm.
well is another piece of what makes HerSWAG so amazing is
Mhm.
this community of support and women sharing their journey. And while we're all experiencing the modules differently, there's a common thread for
Mhm.
each of us, and we can all celebrate each other's wins. And
Mhm.
from a vibrational, energetic perspective, we're all kind of pinging off of each other, and it's just
Yeah.
really fun.
Yeah. Oh, so many beautiful shares. And I love that you brought up the community and that vibration. Like I intentionally designed this so that it's not women who have been holding space for decades coming into a group to hold space. That's the last thing that we need. So it's all about us coming together and cheering for each other and actually taking tangible frameworks and applying them. So I'm so glad that you love that part of it. And oh, thank you for that valuable feedback. Super helpful. Can you talk to me about the trauma work that we did? What are your thoughts on that? I just have this distinct memory. I bring it up because I have this distinct memory of you saying, I came home to myself. That was
Yeah,
cool. Do you remember saying that? I believe you
I
said that
do.
in Slack. Yeah.
Yeah, I do. So, I mean, there were two parts of that. One was doing the TRE, which
Yeah.
was incredible, releasing that built up muck and energy, Can't recommend that enough. But doing the trauma rewrite with you and the rewire was absolutely pivotal in
Mhm.
me understanding and creating my mantra of my self-worth. My worth is inherent, and I
Mm.
am the love that I need, because we really dug into what were the causes
Mhm.
behind why I needed validation from other people and other things throughout my life. As the recovering perfectionist that I am, I wanted to pull out that thread deeper, because we did great work and I was just like, something feels like not quite there. And I was so glad that you really helped me push and lean into that. And by push, I don't mean force. I mean,
Uh-huh.
literally, you encouraged me to look into it if it felt good for me, which it did, because I really wanted to uncover what the truth of that was for me. And I
Hmm.
got there.
Hmm.
And that's where my understanding of my worth is inherent.
Love it. I got the chills when you said that. It's so sturdy. What was the biggest surprise of this program for you?
How fun it,
I love
because,
that.
well, at the end, right? Because as I did each module, there were different parts that were surprising. But I think looking back, like retrospectively, overall, I would say how fun it was, because, emotional work like this, you don't think that's going to be fun. You understand that it's important, it's life changing, it's necessary. But who thinks, yeah, let's dig into my trauma? That's great. Nobody thinks that's going to be fun. I
Yeah.
mean, and it was. It really was. And a lot of that has to do not only with the way that you built the framework, but with that community that you
Hmm.
established,
Hmm.
because of the connections that we have with each other and the wins, and the way we celebrate each other. So,
Hmm. Yeah, I love that. I had somebody say to me, "Oh, I'm ready for the work. We're going to be fighting demons. We're going to be going in there, our deepest trauma." I was like, whoa, whoa. Nobody's fighting demons. We talk about it for 15 minutes. Like, it's pretty wild. But yeah, I'm so glad that you had this jovial vibe with it. When you do the rewrite process, we recognize it as an adult. We can see like the logic in it and why we responded versus just ruminate in it for hours and talk about the feelings. Yeah, so I'm so glad that you found that to be light, dare I say. What would you say to a woman who's on the fence with investing in this program and doesn't trust her decisions? She's been stuck for so long. What would you tell her?
it's the best investment in yourself you'll ever make. Literally, I could not recommend this program more. I found myself through this program.
Mic drop. Another mic drop. Oh my goodness. That is beautiful. Well, thank you for everything. Do you have any parting words?
No, not more than
I
what I've
mean,
already said. I
you
mean,
just dropped the mic. That was so good. Which is
I was
end it
gonna say,
there.
what is there to say other than it's
There
life
isn't. I
changing? I
just
mean,
just wanted to give you the opportunity. You said it.
yeah, it's
Found
life
myself.
changing. Do it. You can't.
Just stop thinking about it. Be about it.
Yes, I
Oh
mean,
my God.
really, you want all the taglines and phrase lines? I could definitely throw those out, but
You're
uh,
so funny.
yeah, no, just go for it.
Yeah, this is amazing. Thank you so much for just sharing your story and being so open and vulnerable. It's really beautiful and it really helps other women just like you. So I appreciate you.